Hello, my name is Lembit Tork. I'm the chief architect at the Sirkel&Mall, and I'll be presenting the information we got from the client, from Vidar Johansson, and then our interpretation of his concept for this particular site. This is the site, as you know. Here again, this is a large space. It's 4,800 square meters. We're allowed 45% building footprint. So we've made a building that's 2160 square meters in building footprint in this position. This is the place, the visual. We have the main street here. The terrain goes down to the fjord. Two new buildings here and some old buildings. The site is over here. It's a large green site with many trees. Generally, the whole area is governed by the aviation regulations. The building is not allowed to go over a certain height limit. So we're keeping it to 4 stories, 3 stories above ground, parking below ground. First story is storage, 2 floors up above for offices. Here's the drawing sent to us of the basic position, which we have not changed. It works quite well. Here are some examples of pictures sent by the client of similar buildings. This one, I think, was sent to show that on the street front there could be some storefronts of some sort. And this is the basic drawing that was sent, showing the heights, the basic shape. I'll just mention, it's basically 18 meters L. And the reason 18, it's shown 17. 17 is parking, 5 meters for car parking space, 7 meters for the access road, and 5 for the other. That makes 17. But plus the walls, we have 17.8, or whatever the norm dictates. So we have, exactly as in this picture, we have the first floor here, ground floor below is parking. Then we have storage. Then we have the 2 levels of offices. And in this case, we're proposing modular offices that can actually be shipped to Norway or constructed in Norway. This is our interpretation. Now, I'll be showing pictures around the building. We're starting from the approach at the street front. As you can see along this, there are a number of different functions. This is just a proposal. We can do it differently. But the idea is that we have probably a main tenant, the main client who has a big office, and then an idea of stock offices. Our basically stock offices are basically access for the public from the front. There are items on display. Then at the back or above, there are offices, and below there's usually then the storage area. So that's an option here. It could also be on this side. But what we're showing here is that to serve these, we might want to have parking on ground level on this side, not only around the building on the other side. So we can see it's a very pleasant environment with the materials wood and then steel panels or aluminum panels painted. There could be a variety of options for the basic finish of the building, depending on also what the client might particularly want. This is simply our interpretation of something that might be contemporary and appropriate. So now we're coming to this side of the building. We're going down the hill. Now we've come to the bottom where the basic entrance is to the car parking. So this door opens and we go down to the underground parking. To this side is a parking lot and an optional main entrance for the main tenant. So this would lead to where the foyer is and also the elevators that go up to the top floor. And but it doesn't have to be like this. This is simply showing that we have a number of different places where we can create our entrances, including our exits for fire escape and for fire escape stairs. So that is the basic scheme. more or less as drawn out originally by Vidar, or whoever actually drew it. I don't know who drew those. And it's fairly a good approach for this kind of site. We can see it on some other adjacent sites as well. Then there's also a question of how much parking. Right now we have underground parking, we have about 60 spaces. It can be more. Then we have 24 on-site here, and then above there were 2 outside. And then in the part to the right, we have 11 spaces and access immediately to the foyer on the side. Here you can see the ground level parking approach from the street side. And in these areas here, there's option for terraces. There could be the dining facilities for the offices and other recreational facilities. And there's also another one that we put here that relates to the other main entrance. But again, all of these elements can be replayed, reconfigured, depending on actually who will be using the building. Right now we're creating kind of a universal hybrid building, one main tenant and additional many tenants for smaller rental spaces. And the final picture is simply another finishing option. We simply changed from the light colored steel panel to a vertical, slightly darker toned one, but the wood remaining here because wood seems to be a very friendly material. So that's it. We enjoyed trying to make an appropriate building for this site. I hope to speak again. Thank you very much.